Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great week. Welcome to another episode of Narad News. This is our second episode for the week. As I promised you guys last week, sorry, that we're going to get more disciplined about when we release our episodes and how you're going to see shorts come on the channel. So, as promised, here we are. Hope you guys are looking forward to a weekend. Um, and yeah, if Friday is anyways a half weekend for you, then yeah, hopefully that goes great as well. All right, let's dive into it. So, today is a very happy day for Apple. Maybe not for us, for Apple, right? I think when I wanted to title this video, I was like, okay, I'm going to talk about another company putting another subscription or putting another ad somewhere, right? Um, and I think you guys have all seen a lot of videos around enshittification or just like an ecosystem devolving. I think Apple has been very resilient so far. I would say when it comes to subscribing for everything under the sun, they have held out the longest. But yeah, let's read this article a bit. I have a few points I'm going to discuss, and then I'm going to try and link it to, how for an ecosystem to continue thriving, how you eventually reach a point where you just don't have another choice. So ads are coming to Apple Maps, yay, as Apple expands its business offerings. So the way Apple is going to do this is it'll be called Apple Business. This will include integrated email, calendar, directory service, all the tools to manage employee. So at least to this extent, I'm very happy. If we can get like a version of Teams and SharePoint from Apple, and I don't know, maybe we can convince our organizations worldwide to like move away from Microsoft. But anyway, I think that's a far stretch right now. So it will only show one ad in Maps for at least as of whatever this article is saying, right? It'll be very similar to sort of how ads appear on the App Store. So let me show you guys that real quick. I actually have one sitting here. So you see, this is from my app store today morning. So it looks like Disney Solitaire was being featured as an ad. By the way, let us know in the comments if you have actually played this game. I think this is like a whole another topic. How like the whole Hollywood and gaming industry and all, they're just milking the old concepts and with nothing new, with nothing original coming out. Like I can't remember the last time I saw a really original game, that's caught people's attention. But anyway, that is for a later day. Let me go back here. So what's happened is there will be one ad and one ad only. It will be clearly marked out in the bubble that I just showed you. It looks something similar to that. It's supposed to, or it'll probably add billions to Apple's bottom line. So again, as I said, it's a very happy day for Apple. We can all debate if it's happy for us or not. But yeah, this is where we stand right now. Users' personal data will not be shared with third parties. It's being called out clearly. Look, I'm glad that Apple has made the effort to say this, but again, maybe a topic for another day. But privacy is a myth, guys. Just that's where we are. It's not even about a company trying to ensure privacy, or it's not even about the law. It's just there is just too many terms and conditions, fine print. I'm not saying Apple is doing any of it. I've not read their terms and conditions in detail, but obviously I use Google, I use Meta, all the companies that literally thrive on, selling your data to others. So privacy is a myth. that's, again, we can debate if it's right or wrong, but that's where we are. Now, the business, in order to be able to set up or feature themselves as an ad, will have to have Apple Maps installed on their phone, and they will have to add, well, it'll already be installed, sorry about that, but they will have to have an active listing. They'll have to have a physical address and all the good stuff, which will then allow them to include photos, a promotional message, and based on their ad budget, they can decide how they want to structure their ad, right? Again, the more money you can spend, the more favorable it'll be for you. That's how it's going to work. Apple will use automated matching. I think we are all pretty used to this kind of stuff, but they will be using automated matching to place the ad in front of, users who are actively searching for a similar business. So if I'm in the area looking for a restaurant, there you go, an ad. Larger advertisers, of course, the more you can spend on this, you will get more customization options, as I mentioned earlier. There will be an auction-based pricing system. Looks like this is the industry standard. If anyone has more sort of know-how about this, please leave us a comment telling us how this actually works. I'm not the most well-versed in this, but yeah, happy to learn more. Now, advertisers will only pay when they get a desired outcome. So if I click on that ad, only will that advertiser have to pay Apple. Seems like a favorable deal so far. I'm actually not sure how Google Ads, Meta Ads work. Maybe if I knew, this channel would have had more followers by now, more subscribers by now. But I'm not sure how all the other big digital ad providers work. But it looks like here, it seems to be, at least for now, in the favor of the entity that's posting the ad, right? You only pay when someone actually clicks on it. My thought here is that, okay, what about the fact that there's a whole suite of business ecosystem, like Apple Business, right? Is there going to be a subscription fee for that? So you're anyways paying, but then are you paying more when someone clicks an ad? That kind of ensures that, okay, no matter what, you get like a base level revenue, and then anything on top of that comes from, okay, someone clicked the ad that you posted. So that obviously then completely tilts the equation in favor of Apple. We all know the 30% cut that Apple gets, at least for the first year, for putting your app on the App Store. I do see this ending up somewhere similar over the medium to long run, because for everyone, again, please watch our last week's live, the one on last Thursday. For anyone who thinks that iPhones or Apple is only a North American phenomenon, and people in Europe use Android and people in Asia use Android. Yes, a lot of people in Europe and Asia use Android, but the market share of iPhones globally is actually increasing. It's sitting at 33% as of Feb 2026. And yeah, if you want to learn more, please go watch our live last Thursday, right? You'll get to see why ultimately such a step like what we're talking about here, the ads in this Maps app, it will benefit Apple no matter what. And of course, at the heart of it is the ecosystem that functions really well with all, its family of devices, essentially. Now, this expansion of Apple's advertising business is basically coming along with a broader change to the business offerings. So we are seeing the company combining a lot of its software products essentially into, a combination of tools, right? So something similar has happened recently on the consumer side as well. Let me pull that up. And ta-da! Apple Creator Studio. Now you don't just get to pay for Final Cut Pro once and for all and forget about it. So please guys, download DaVinci Resolve as soon as possible. The next thing you know, they will be on a subscription and we will all be forced to use Linux operating systems and use all the open source, editing tools. So, I mean, all jokes aside, see, here is your Creator Studio. I don't even know what all it has, right? I think there is like a version of Pages, Numbers, and Keynote. Looks like obviously there's a version of GarageBand and then of course Final Cut Pro. There are some of these other logos which I have no idea what they are. I have no idea, man. Meet all-star team of creative apps. Okay, Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, Pixelmator Pro. I guess that's their version of Photoshop. Okay, go back and just pause. Pause, man. I don't want to see more stuff. Okay. Now, okay, it looks like there's main stage. Guys, what is main stage and compressor? I have no idea. Again, drop a comment down below, please. Whatever you guys know about these apps. And yeah, let us know if these are even worth it. Is it better than the Adobe ecosystem, or is it even sort of worth it? Now, especially when it comes to Creator Studio, looks like you can get it for $180 a year. This is the Canadian pricing. So for anyone who wants to do the US, just please go to the US website. From what I remember, Adobe's suite for all apps, all access throughout the year is, I think, comes up to about $80-90 a month, which tells me that, okay, you're spending more than $1,000 on the Adobe suite, whereas you're getting Apple's for $180, right? So that is an amazing deal, but obviously you'll have to have a pretty functioning MacBook. I don't think something like this will work on a MacBook Neo. So you'll at the very minimum need like a mid-range MacBook Air or something to make this work. So you're anyways going to be spending upwards of $1,200-1,300. And then on top of that, you'll give Apple $180 a year to use this suite of products. And then of course, if you want Apple Care Plus, you will also give about, I'm guessing if you have an Air, like $100, $200. I think it's about $250 for 3 years, and then you can renew every year if you want. So yeah, there we go. The final bastion that was trying to avoid too many subscriptions is falling right in that trap. Now you might ask me, why is it that I'm still calling Apple the last bastion to fall? The reason is, okay, there is iTunes, you can pay for that, for the whole Apple TV Plus ecosystem, but those were things that you can technically live without, right? Okay, you don't want to pay for Apple Music, fine, maybe Spotify will give you a better deal, right? Now over here as well, you can live without Apple Maps, but can you live without Maps in general? No. You may end up using Google Maps, which is already showing you, which has been showing you ads for a while. I'm not sure if Waze does that. Any Waze users, let us know, please. I don't use Waze too actively, so yeah, my knowledge is not too good over there. But again, eventually what will happen is, see, for all software products to thrive, there's only 2 or 3 tricks in the book that companies can employ. You have a very addicting ecosystem, which Apple does, but maybe with their hardware. Now, the biggest reason that this ecosystem is so addicting is because everything talks to each other and it works really well, right? Otherwise there's no reason to stick to it. Now, it basically has everything. You have a touchscreen device, you have powerful laptops, and you have pretty powerful and functional smartphones, you have a swanky TV device, you can have some speakers and whatnot. No other ecosystem that exists. Let's say Google's, for example. Google has a operating system, but that's completely online, Chrome OS, right? Google has pretty good phones. They have a swanky TV device, smart TV device, and they have watches as well. But it, yeah, everyone's kind of missing one piece or the other, right? Like Microsoft's ecosystem, they don't have a smartphone, right? So you have to kind of hook it up as best as possible with an Android device. There are some apps that talk to each other, but none of them are as efficient as handoff. And of course, when it comes to all these wearables like AirPods, headphones, Apple has those as well. So do the others, but I don't think Microsoft has headphones. So let me know if anyone has ever worn Microsoft headphones. So next point is, as I was mentioning, that it'll just be called Apple Business now. There won't be any more Apple Business Connect, Apple Business Essentials, Apple Business Manager, none of that. None of those subgrades. It'll just be called Apple Business. I'm pretty sure when you go and try to make an Apple Business account, you'll have some pricing schemes which would be very similar to, Connect Essentials Manager. But then again, it's the umbrella that's coming together and just forming one service. And of course, you will get a massive 5 GB iCloud storage. Oh my God, lovely. 5 GB in 2026. At least there is a free tier. I don't know what else to say, guys. I mean, I would run out of 5 GB in less than a bloody heartbeat. But, I have to at least be thankful or appreciate Apple for, being honest. Like, you want to be a part of our ecosystem, you want to join the club, you gotta pay the dollars. Otherwise, it's, might as well be, just get out. You want something cheap, not for you, right? So, my hypothesis is completely, a conjecture, that the reason Apple has released the MacBook Neo alongside all of the subscription-based productivity software and suite they are releasing is, I think in their business analysis, they felt that their current MacBooks are too expensive, Airs and Pros, but for the user base to start looking into, this Creator Studio or Apple Business suites, they need a cheaper way to hook them in. College kid goes and gets a MacBook Neo, right? Gets the base configuration, the 8 GB, doesn't even have that fingerprint reader, just something to put some Word documents, PowerPoint, Excel, and, try to just pass college. And one day, this person clicks on the App Store, browsing on Apple's website for the, latest AirPods, and then feels like, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel. And then there you go. Creator Studio, oh, my MacBook Neo, not good, not good. Okay, how much does the MacBook Air cost? How much does the MacBook Pro cost? And there you go, you're climbing that pricing ladder, right? I feel this is the real reason the MacBook Neo even exists. They are trying to get into the minds of the youngest of the people so that they can create more longer term customers. Somewhere or the other, this also tells me that as a company, they may be facing problems retaining older customers. Because Apple has always targeted the premium segment. What is probably happening is the premium segment is also feeling the money pinch, and then now they're trying to just go for other alternatives, right? I'll build a home lab. I will get a NAS attached storage so that I don't have to pay for iCloud storage. I'm just throwing out some examples, right? I don't have to have the latest iPhone because since iPhone 10 or 11, improvements to the iPhone have been marginal at best. I don't care if I get a 2-year-old iPhone, maybe even a refurb one. In fact, my own MacBook is a refurb Mac, right? I just hope we don't end up, and if there is any chance anyone from Apple ends up ever watching this, do not turn into Windows. My sincerest prayer, request, I'm begging you guys, I don't know what to say, right? This article's done, guys. So, do not turn into Windows. Do not start showing ads as soon as you get into the system. Thank God there is no start menu, which you have to click on to literally start your computer usage. But yeah, don't try to start thinking about how to squeeze in an ad everywhere you go, right? I'm glad that Apple so far is not literally shoving AI down our throats with every click of a button across the ecosystem, right? One thing is, okay, Apple is behind in the game. And again, if you really want to understand why I'm using these air quotes to say behind, please go watch our live from last Thursday. But the thing is, the minute you start forcing your users to use something, the moment it becomes more about the company than its users, the users will start finding alternatives. They will hunt, they will learn, they will trade convenience for having options, right? And I'm pretty sure all the people, the C-suite of Apple, the highest of the highest ranking directors and everyone, they have already seen how Linux users have, kissed the 5% range. And we all know why that has happened, right? There is it's not even news anymore. You try to shove hardware and software down people's throats, people just look for alternatives. And if there is any lesson that Apple can learn from all the hate that Windows 11 gets, is everything is replaceable, right? Sure, enterprise still uses Windows. I use Windows. But I have been able to find a way to, stay away from Windows in my non-work life, right? So yeah, that's just a word of caution. I mean, sure, we'll start seeing one ad on Maps pretty soon. We've been seeing that one ad on the App Store for a while. We've been seeing ads on Google, like there's no tomorrow. Every bloody Google search result first starts with suggested, sponsored, and then all the other. And then somewhere about a quarter of the page down, you start seeing some useful information. We are kind of used to that on Bing as well. But I hope that Apple can find a way to subtly introduce AI into the ecosystem, to be able to keep ads to, just bare bones what's needed. To me, Apple's software is only as good as the hardware it provides on its devices. It is the true integration company in the Mac 7 world, right? In this whole big tech space, Apple is the true integrator. And all I can wish is that the company not forget that. That is the core. In my opinion, Apple does not have to be the first one in the AI race. It simply doesn't need to be there. But where Apple needs to be first always is an ecosystem that functions like clockwork, doesn't fail, and just keeps doing what it's supposed to do day in and day out on people's devices. Anyways, guys, that's all for today. Please like, share, and subscribe. Do let us know what you like. Do let us know what you don't like. Do leave comments and spread the news. See you guys, and see you on Sunday on Wasted Wanderers. JD and I are going to be doing our next episode. So see you guys there as well, and we will stream parallelly over there and over here. So whichever one you want, please click on it. Please tune in. Till then, bye-bye.